guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're looking at a very amazing guide from Red Orb. There are a couple content creators out there that are still hanging out on Reddit, a couple different social media platforms that I definitely want to recognize to go over these guys. Guys, most of you know that I suck at visuals. I will say it myself. I will always call myself out. The visuals I am not very good at whatsoever. So I do rely on a lot of the content creators, again, over on Reddit, on Discord, a lot of different aspects to cover the guide and materials that they create because they're amazing. Today we're going to be looking at the PvE formations that are meta. We know some of the metas change when new heroes come out, and I think especially with Frampton, we're going to see some changes to some of these meta formations. But again, I'm going to put the link down below this video so you guys can check out his guide. Give him a thumbs up, support the content creators that we still have within AFK Arena, because again, they are few and far in between. So let's go ahead and we'll get into the guide. Guys, here's the introduction. Again, this is Red Orb over on Reddit is where I'm pulling this guide from, so you know where the information. I will put the link down below. Getting into the guide, I'd like to thank Arkins, Royo, Cornick, and Jason too. So he gives some shout out to some other creators or people who checked out the guide. So looking at just kind of how to read it, you can see top left border, it is a core unit. Bottom left are the flex units. And I love that it shows signature item, furniture, and artifacts, guys. It also breaks out the detail of what the heroes or why the hero is a core hero and exactly the logic behind it, which I absolutely love. There are a ton of meta comps and he covers them all. Again, I'm going to give kind of my opinion on some of the changes that we're going to see coming with Frampton and a couple other heroes, and also looking at the rest of this guide. So the first one that it gets into is the Lucretia 5 pull. We know this has been a staple pull for a significant amount of time. Really lies on Lucretia and her signature item stacking the attack rating, which you can see the core units in here, Lucretia, Iran, and Skarath. Breaks down the signature item. Lucretia absolutely required to be maxed out. She is the main damage dealer. You have Skarath and Iran in this pull to pull all of the heroes together. Skarath having that 3 of 9 furniture is vital to the success. Without that 3 of 9, ultimately this will not work. Now looking down at some of the flex units, we have Queen, we have Brutus, we have Granite. Granite plus 30 signature item. He stuns the enemies, petrifies the enemies. They cannot gain energy, which is awesome. Survivability, if you're having issues within formations with survivability, Brutus is the one to go to because he can also stay in there and take a blunt of the damage until Lucretia actually gets her abilities up. And then we also do have Queen in here. A lot of players wonder why we bring Queen in here. She does provide the initial crowd control in here. Now looking at the bottom, there are a couple flex units within here that I'd like to go over. Namora, you do have to have the 9 of 9 furniture. It triggers that Beguile ability right off the bat. Leica gives energy and haste right off the bat. When you look at Raku, Raku is a unique in here, but he is a finisher. So if you're looking at teams that have a higher hit point or more tank heavy, he works very well for the fact that he can burn down units super fast with normal attacks. We have Elite in here for Anoki. That's the shielding effect that he brings. We have an Elite in here for Sophia. Putting up her Spectral Disruption makes a big difference. Again, most of these are dealing with the survival issues that we face with Lucretia until she can get her buffs up, till she has a little bit of time to scale. Then, of course, Gorvo, the shielding aspect that he brings. Again, the crowd control, allowing us to get Lucretia up and allowing us to really burn down these team comps. Next one we look at is the Lucretia Invade. This is one that I feel is really going to change. So with them going on the enemy side, you can see a lot of these same heroes are in here, but there are a couple new additions. Lucretia, of course, being the primary one. I still like utilizing Skarath within here to really put everyone together. Granite with that plus 30 item allows, again, all of the enemies to be put together and all of the enemies to be petrified, which is awesome. With the Invade team, we do know Zafrio goes straight to the enemy side, again, pushing back. With Mishka, which good to see Mishka in formations. Instant CC if you have that 9 of 9 furniture, which is awesome, works really well. Namora, same reason, that 9 of 9 furniture, the Beguile rate off the bat. Some players do use Hodgkin in here. When he puts up the Jolly Roger, when he puts up that flag, provides attack, defense, and haste, which is good. Couple flex units within this formation. Rain, we have Leica. Strilda, again, she has the defensive element in there. Don't even need her short of the buff that she can bring. Chose her here at Elite. Same with Elite Ananoki down in the bottom, which I don't believe you can see. There's Elite down here with Mortis, and then Brutus again with the formation. This one really relies on going to the enemy side. I'm surprised with this invade comp that we don't have. Normally you see Scrag within here, just because when they're on the enemy side, most of the invade includes Scrag, Lucretia, and then Zafriel, and then putting Mishka in the formation as well to really stack on the enemy side. Combined, we've seen a couple with Leica we've seen, and other heroes that are going to keep everyone to the enemy side. Now, one thing about this formation is I'm not sure 100% when this was created, but we know Frampton is coming. Frampton is going to be, in my opinion, one of the really big players when it comes to the invade, running even Lucretia with Zafriel, with Mishka, with Frampton, putting the heroes together. It seems like they are going to be a huge, huge bonus to the invade comp, which I absolutely love. Again, this is a little bit different variation than we've seen because it drops out Scrag, but ultimately when you get in level deficiencies, he doesn't have the damage mitigation to really make the survivability. Next one we got here is the Charmizard, as we know. So looking here, this can actually work relatively early. We see Mahira positioned in 4, which is going to allow her to charm everyone. Now the big thing here, the other core unit, and this is one of the reasons why on our Stargazing guides, you build out Kazard first because you want that plus 30 signature item. This actually gives you a 60% duration increase when it comes to that Mesmerize, or the Mesmerize of alt that Mahira carries, which makes this synergy absolutely work. Now the other core units, you can see Rowan and Rose in here. Big thing behind this is you want Mahira to ult, and you actually want Mahira to ult a second time by the time the first Mesmerize ability goes out, which is actually a solid ability with Rowan's regeneration. With Rose's energy regeneration keeps the energy cycle going. Now, one hero that I find really important in here, that is really not the biggest priority, but Zolrath and Leica are the two, honestly, that finish out this formation perfectly. Because Zolrath with the 3 of 9, it delays the starting of battle, allowing her to get some more energy. Leica does the same, boost the haste, boost the energy right off of the bat. Also, she does a debuff on the enemy, which can work very well. You can see her down here. There's a couple of heroes within the formation that a lot of players have used, or the flex heroes that he has down here. Nomura's 9 of 9, adding another charm in there. We have Damon, Raku, we have Brutus. We have Elite Aziz in here. Now, Aziz does work well just having his level, because even if he dies, he will still provide an energy regeneration over time, which is very strong. We also do have Raku in here, which again, the crowd control damage aspect that he brings, and then Oden for the energy disintegration, really setting off or taking away some of the damage that we see within this comp. This honestly is one of my favorite comps that I use within AFK Arena. The Charm comp, or the Charmizard as a lot of people call it. Ulna Graveborn is the next one. Now this one is really focused on Ulna, which is the reason why, again, after Lucretia, she is one of the biggest heroes that we stargaze for. Really buying time for Grez to ult and to get minions up into scale. You can see here they do require a significant investment, 9 of 9 on both of them, to bring up minions and shield them. They do kind of overwhelm the enemy after a little bit. Grez's signature item, plus 20 is good, plus 30 will definitely help out just with the strength. Now, some of the heroes, and I 100% agree with Red Orb and the lineup that is in here. It really seems like running Graveborn. Everybody runs Graveborn with this comp, because when you look at the lineup, guys, you have Oden, you have Pharrell, you have Damon, you have Silas, and you have Desira. All of them are super strong Graveborns. Graveborn's probably one of the strongest factions, if not the strongest faction in AFK Arena. Right here, you have crowd control, you have damage, energy reduction, and he scales over time. Massive crowd control, energy reduction with Pharrell. Silas will provide bonus attack and immunity, healing, attack speed, very cool. Damon, of course, DPS, also does not have a cap when he's stealing. Desira, mitigation, healing, team buffs, definitely a very core set of heroes. On the bottom for the flex heroes, we have Mortis, we have Tassie, Rain, and Hodgkin. I see this formation run quite a bit with Hodgkin, but again, with him being a relatively new hero, you do have to have him built out, have to have that 9 of 9 furniture, plus 20 signature item. Rain can initially boost damage as well in Tassie for the sleep effect, the slumber effect that she carries with the crowd control. But ultimately, guys, a very good Graveborn team here with the Ulna Graveborn. This is the absolute formation that everyone loves to hate, which is the Thoran cheese, guys. Thoran is the primary one, especially earlier in the game. You can Thoran cheese a ton of stages, guys. Absolutely, Thoran can cheese. You can see her plus 30 signature item. Most players do use the call on him when you have ulting issues, when you have energy regeneration issues. Most commonly ran with these two right here. We have Lorzin and we have Kelthar, which is awesome because they really don't fit the bill in many other formations. But the tactic here is getting everyone piled around Thoran. Thoran with the retaliation ability taking a ton of damage and then allowing him to throw the damage back to the enemies. And you can see here, guys, plus 0, 0, 0, 0. Furniture 0, 0, 0, 0. That is what makes the Thoran team comp or the Thoran cheese super effective, guys, is you do not require the other heroes to really be built at all. A lot of players even just bring them out, again, basic with nothing on them, because essentially you want these heroes to die. That way everyone can bombard Thoran, allowing to do a significant amount of damage. You can also see here, funnels more energy. And then, of course, the bottom here. Now, one big thing I want to point out when it comes to these bottom ones is this one right here, guys. If you are doing the Thoran cheese comp, if you build Flora, Flora will reduce the haste of enemies, allowing Thoran to essentially take a lot less damage, which can be very bad. That is the reason is only at elite. You want her to do some damage, but not so much damage or reduce so much haste that Thoran takes less damage. Now, some of the other ones that are in here that I like, Leica, definitely one of them. And then, of course, Pippa. Pippa does have the ability to move Thoran, teleport Thoran where he needs to go, which is vital to make the Thoran cheese work in a bunch of different formations. Then they have Rowan and Ezio. Haven't used them in here. Also on the far right, right under my camera feed is level 1 Hypogen heroes. So a lot of people do drop level 1 Hypogen heroes because you get the energy buff that essentially helps Thoran and feeds that retaliation ability for the ultimate ability, because they die out really fast and he can get a lot more energy out of them dying out, making the Thoran cheese one of the strongest formations in AFK Arena. Next one we look at is the 5-pull. Now this 5-pull does not include Lucretia. Now, as you get in level deficiencies, most of the 5-pulls do have to have Lucretia to do the viability, but this one focuses on utilizing Iran and Raku, which is very strong. But to make the 5-pull work right off the bat, you need Iran and you need Skarath. 3 of 9 furniture with Skarath to get this to pull all 5 heroes. Now, Raku, massive damage and crowd control. He can actually stun a significant. Same with when you look down the line here. Queen, crowd control, chain stun enemies. Prince of Persia, secondary stun, chain stun. Ezio, dodge tank, can execute. The team works very well. You can see there are a lot of flex heroes in here, but ultimately from the beginning, you cannot have Iran die. And that's where a lot of people, this formation will fall apart when you start getting into high level deficiencies, is most of the time you'll do the pull, Iran will die on the pull, and the rest of the formation just falls apart. So you do have to keep him alive. He is the core of this team until you can get the crowd control going. Now, flex units on the bottom, a lot of these I really wouldn't recommend, just for the simple fact they are used in a bunch of different formations. But looking down here, Gorbo, absolutely. Scrag, I would save him for the evade team if you're running that, but you can use him in here. But ultimately, the 5-pull, Scrag will turn around. You're not going to really utilize that 9 of 9 furniture because everyone stays on the enemy side. Sophia, absolutely. Massive crowd control will trigger Joker's abilities all the time. Very strong. Brutus, again, if there's big burst damage, Brutus will just go immune. I also do love using Leica in here. Mortis, if you can get him to live strong enough to go ahead and buff Eron or some other ones. And then Grez is another hero utilized in far more important formations. Ainz comp, not really too much to say about this one, except just a monster, guys. Ainz and Albedo, you want to build them out as soon as possible because they are super strong, guys. The combination of those two can almost single-handedly ult and kill the entire formation. Ainz, to the goal of life is death, is crazy, guys. Activates dealing 55% of the enemy's HP. Then he can ult, which is kind of crazy. And then again, Albedo, 3 of 9 furniture, gets the immunity. Some of the ones that I love running with there, Prince of Persia, definitely biggest priority, guys. I love running the chain CC. Also, Albedo, signature item, helping his survivability with attack and defense. Arthur is one that has really dropped out of the running. Most of players do not use Arthur anymore. We see a lot more Leonardo in there, or we see the combination of Prince of Persia with Joker, which is good because most of the time they are not in very many, that many more formations. And then of course we have Mortis in here and we have Leonardo. Like I was saying, Leonardo with the 9 of 9 furniture will give Ainz a 45% damage increase, which is absolute insanity. Ezio is a good combination in here as well because of the finishing moves. Merlin for the survivability, again, 9 of 9, doesn't need the signature item. And then Kren, I like him in this formation. I can see him fitting in, but ultimately I would probably use him in a different formation. But the lineup here with Ainz and Albedo is very solid, guys. One of the first and most powerful formations that a lot of players do build in AFK Arena. Which brings us right to our little mauler, Kren. Been a very cool build out here. So as you can see, the importance of the 1 star. So he does need the 1 star because of the engraving system. So with the engraving system, he can have up to a 50% damage mitigation, meaning it's super hard to kill him because of the damage mitigation factor that he does. In addition, he puts out massive, absolutely massive damage while increasing survivability. So it's a very unique dynamic duo there. We have Mishka in here, Mishka to protect him running there, especially with that 9 of 9. So if her wolves die, she will ult, providing crowd control. Second wolf dies, ults again, providing crowd control. Very powerful unit within this formation. Same with the Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia will chain stun, allowing Kren to build up energy, allowing Kren to ult. We have Mortis in here. Mortis will enhance him to do substantially more damage, especially when he ults. Arthur, we've seen Arthur making the move into this formation a lot more frequently. Big thing with Arthur is he can use his aura on Kren, allowing Kren to do a significant amount of damage because of the crit rating that Arthur can bring with the plus 30 signature item and that aura. And then Skarath within here to bring all of those enemies together. Also the Sandstorm, if you do have that ability go off. A lot of times it dies long before that. Some of the flex heroes down here, guys, you can see there are quite a few, including a couple maulers down here. Zolrath to slowly let him build up a little bit more. I like Rain in this formation, again, for the damage amplification buff. We have Beguile in here. We have the energy haste. Out here, we have Silas, which I like doing the set bonuses as well, or the faction bonuses within there as well. We also do have Nemitsu, and we have Zafriel down on the side to provide some crowd control, giving Kren a little bit of time to get that ultimate ability up. Fairly new formation since Kren has been out, but a super effective one nonetheless. And the final formation we look at, guys, is Raku plus CC. So we know Raku, again, does a crazy amount of damage. We've seen him absolutely broken. But when you build an entire crowd control team, it works super well because Raku puts out such a absolute insane amount of damage. Not only the crowd control, he has the ability to finish with the ultimate ability to kill heroes out super fast. Looking down this formation, guys, you have Oden, crowd control, Pharrell, crowd control, Leonardo, crowd control, Brutus in here for immunity, survivability. He can hold the entire front line. Prince of Persia, crowd control, and then even looking in the bottom, guys, you have Khazard for the buff, you have crowd control with Namora, you have crowd control with Mishka, very solid crowd control centered around him, which makes him super effective because he puts out so much damage. He's one of those heroes similar to Lucretia. You can put him in a formation. If he stays alive, he will kill everybody else. So you really have one of two choices within AFK Arena. One is having tanks such as Brutus that have the immunity factor, or two, providing massive crowd control, which is what this team does, allowing him to effectively crowd control all of the enemies until Raku can burn down everyone with the normal attacks or with the ultimate abilities within his skill kit. Very, very strong combination with this one. And again, guys, I want to give a big shout out to Red Orb for this guide. Again, I'm going to put a link down below, the link to the Reddit. I feel like these guides don't get enough love and support with the amount of players, again, that are still making guides and making content like this for AFK Arena. My big shout out to you guys. I love the content. I love covering the content. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.